What the dictionary says is different.
So the dictionary definition is different from legal definition. You see, that's why I said I should lecture you. You cannot read a dictionary definition to legal terms.
OB Keeng to ease no eye, coming out with the music to ease your mind. Hi guys, it's OB Keeng once again in the house with another video for you guys. Nigerian presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in the news again. This time he's in the news regarding his drug case from the 90s, which he cannot shake from his history. Recently, a court in the United States released certified true copies of a forfeiture that he made of $460,000, where it was discovered that they might have been the proceeds of drug dealings, like more specifically heroin dealings. What's making me interested in this is that now mainstream media is now picking this story. To my surprise, Festus Keyamo came on Channels TV, more specifically the Politics Today program, which is hosted by shady, and he came to defend Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the drug dealing allegations. How deep was Tinubu's involvement in these heroin dealings? Will it be something that they will hold against him? Like, if he actually becomes president, is it something that they can hold against Nigeria? He did not even try to deny the document because that was a certified true copy. So denying it would probably have brought more problems. So what he was trying to do was basically make us feel like what we were seeing was not true. He tried playing some mind games in this interview and it was quite funny to watch. I just want to appreciate shady, for being the first person that was brave enough to bring this onto his channel. I believe there are two journalists that are going to be goated after this election is over. One of them is shady, the second is, of course, Rufai from Arise News. Both of them are really redefining what it means to be journalists in Nigeria, going against the grain and trying to get truths out of some very controversial topics that are affecting Nigerian political space. I also want to shout out to David Hundeyin. He was the one that sparked the interest in this drug dealing allegation. Festus Keyamo started trying to defend Tinubu by saying that, okay, these allegations are not new, that the allegations have been there even since before he ran for governorship of Lagos State. He even went to the extent of accusing the PDP of being the instigators of these new allegations.
The PDP and his people, perhaps that's what they went to the US for, when they pretended that they went to for high-level engagement. This is part of the high-level engagements they went for, just to go and, deceive Nigerians and bring out washed-out papers that are totally dead as dodo. They brought them back to Nigerians and they said freshly issued court papers in the US. They are not freshly issued. They have just been certified by the US court.
Festus Keyamo also started by being very condescending to Sheung, trying to tell him that he did not understand the issue on ground. He was telling Sheung to get a biro and paper to write things down so that he can learn. Like, I've never seen such levels of condescension.
I'm not just a lawyer, Sheung, and I want you to pick a biro and a paper to begin to take notes, because I know you are a student, a law student. So this is also a lecture session for you. Take a biro and paper. A charge must contain a charge number.
This guy is not even the president. Like, he's a spokesman to an aspirant to be president, and he's already talking like this. Imagine if he's actually put in power. Like, imagine if Tinubu wins and he's giving like Minister of Information or something. You know how condescending is going to be to journalists. He even started by saying Tinubu was not the defendant in the document, that somehow they were not prosecuting Tinubu, but they were prosecuting the accounts that were linked to Tinubu. And somehow this is supposed to make sense to Nigerians.
If you look at those documents too, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu was not mentioned as a defendant. They've skipped that. It was only account numbers that were mentioned, and at the end of the day, they just said account numbers in the name of Tinubu. That is all. Not that Tinubu was a defendant. It was accounts in his name, not him. Those accounts were sealed, not him.
He now went on this prolonged rant where he started basically saying, do you know who I am?
I'm not just a lawyer. I'm not just a member of the inner bar, a senior advocate. I am one of the most experienced criminal prosecutors in this country. Private prosecutors. Apart from one or two persons who are private prosecutors, I have done more prosecution, like I said, apart from one or two, more prosecution as a private prosecutor, private, in the entire country today. So I can say this with all aplomb and confidence. apart from being a fellow of international arbitration. So nobody can teach me anything about criminal procedure.
But I like how Shehu handled the situation. He basically said, look, you're not talking to me directly, because Festus was trying to make it like Shehu was the only person who had an issue with the documents. He said, you're talking to Nigerians through my platform. Now, it's at this point that Festus Keyamo actually admitted that the accounts belonged to Tinubu and his family members, and there were 10 accounts in total that the US government had issues with and linked to drug trafficking.
Were the account numbers involved that of Bola Tinubu?
Yes, not only him, companies were linked to, and his relatives. People should take note of that. His relatives.
All right.
Including his mother, including his aged mother, that Elijah Mogaji. So what do you want to do? You want to link her to what?
I said, just a moment, Mr. Advocate. I said I have quick questions. And
now he was trying to twist the whole narrative, like saying that those documents and the forfeiture that Tinubu made, that it exonerates him, that it doesn't indict him.
I want you to look at that paragraph 6. They were begging him. The lawyers, the United States, they were begging. These documents, in fact, rather than indict Asiwaju, these documents exculpate him and makes him as white as snow.
Is that how the law profession works? Somebody forfeited an entire large amount of money, $460,000, and you are trying to convince people, you are trying to convince Nigerians that this actually means that the US government was at fault. Like, it really makes no sense. So Festus Keyamo was now trying to say like, oh, Tinubu made a mistake by hanging with a bad crowd that happened to be a crowd of drug dealers, and he ended up using the address to open accounts.
Let me tell you what happened. Now, if you see the whole gamut of that affidavit, it was more or less like, well, you know, it happens to all of us, Nigerians. You go to a new land, you go to a new place abroad, any Nigerian you see, especially from your own tribe, they become like brothers to you. You associate with them, you visit them. You may do 1 or 2 transactions. You may not exactly know what they are involved in. You may not know. What happened? Asiwaju went to open an account. The address by which he opened the account was an address already, you know, used by these people. I think some block of flats. Maybe he happened to be in that block of flats too. So they now linked it to say, oh, well, these other people they were investigating for narcotics, they are in the same address used by Asiwaju to open that account. So that is what is there. I cannot deviate from it. They also said after I opened the account.
Okay, if that was the case, and he had this huge sum of money in his account, why is he using another person's address to open bank accounts in his name? So this is when Shehu actually started going for the jugular. Like, Shehu was now making a case to say that, okay, this could actually be grounds to disqualify Tinubu from running for president according to the constitution. Festus now started trying to argue that forfeiture is not an indictment against Tinubu, that is a civil process, and somehow the US government was actually begging Tinubu, I mean after Tinubu had forfeited that huge amount of money, not to pursue any further case after this, in case it turns out that they were wrong about Tinubu being involved.
They were appealing to Asiwaju. They were begging him, please don't come against us, just let us go, take us and let us go. And so it was him giving them indemnity. Don't forget, it was not the other way around, that they were telling him, go and sin no more. No, he was the one telling them, go and sin no more. He was the one. Read it.
It's such a ridiculous roller coaster of legal mumbo jumbo that he was saying. And that was where the viral moment in this video now came in. Shehu read out the dictionary meaning of forfeiture to Festus Keyamo, and that was when he went off. He got so angry, he started gaslighting Shehu basically.
The dictionary meaning of forfeiture is the loss or giving up of something as a penalty for wrongdoing. In the dimension of what you have explained tonight is criminal in nature. But let me allow you to, as we wrap up, let me allow you to respond to that.
Shehu, that's why I said if you bring yourself into the issue, you said you were not bringing yourself, you are expressing your personal opinion, you say you don't agree with me. That's why I said you should take a paper and a biro, because you are talking with a prosecutor of more than a decade.
The meaning
of the best
the meaning
of the
of
best institutions in Nigeria.
You
So that's why I
said-
said, if you are bringing yourself into the picture, take
Mr.
a paper and a
Keyamo,
biro, and I will lecture you on this.
Just a
now
moment.
I'll go to answer your question.
I'm telling
let me answer your
you,
question.
You
Shehu, let me answer your question.
forfeiture. Just a moment.
Because you're arguing with me.
No.
You are not asking questions. You're arguing with me. But you are arguing with me. You are not asking the question.
What the dictionary says is different.
So the dictionary definition is different from legal definition. You see, that's why I said I should lecture you. You cannot read a dictionary definition to legal terms. Shehu, those who know legal terms know that the dictionary definition don't apply to legal terms.
And this just goes to show the kind of people that are supporting the APC. These people are willing to defend anything. They don't really care at this point. Even I saw online on Twitter where some people defending Bola Tinubu in this case, they were basically saying what's wrong with having a drug dealer for president. Like, that just shows you the kind of, like, me personally, I don't argue with any Tinubu supporters. I'm seeing it as a hostile takeover. They just want to take over government. I don't think they care about the implications of what happens if he actually becomes president. It could come out tomorrow that Tinubu supplied drugs to the entire Nigeria. It doesn't matter to them. They're going to defend it. And it's really sad. Like, in more developed climes, when things like this come out about candidates, they resign straight up. Like, they don't even fight it. But here, you know, we're trying to push candidates with questionable backgrounds to become presidents. I don't know if there are any lawyers in the house that want to help explain this situation. Does Tinubu's forfeiture actually exonerate Tinubu as opposed to indicting him? I don't know. You can let me know in the comments. Try and lecture me. I'll be with my biro and my paper. Thanks so much for watching, guys. That's the video. Do like and subscribe. Once again, my name is OB Keeng, and I'll see you guys in the next one.